You want to suck Putin's cock. You want to have sex with him. Like, you want to, you love Putin. You're doing Russian propaganda. Like, it's, that's propaganda. You know what I mean? That's absolutely propaganda.
If we were
like when people say, "Oh, this is live," Donald Trump on World War III talking to Putin and Joe Rogan.
If you had the Trump administration in there would be no war, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, energy prices would have been down. War or no war, they would have been very low because we were dominant. We were becoming, I call it energy dominance. We were dominant in energy. God. And getting more so by the day.
We have to watch this. We're interrupting this broadcast. No. Folks, we are interrupting this broadcast for a very special report. The Nelk boys of the Full Send fame have gotten Donald Trump on their podcast talking about Russia and Ukraine, talking about the top of the hour ad break. At the top of every hour, we are going to have to interrupt our broadcast with this very, very special report from everyone's very special boy. Top of the hour ad break is here. If you want an ad-free broadcasting experience, if you want it uninterrupted, then you need to subscribe for $5 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Twitch Prime is free. Here's the ad now.
We were going to withdraw, but we weren't leaving $85 billion worth of equipment. We weren't leaving dead soldiers. And I spoke to the Taliban, the leader, Abdul, and I said, don't ever kill any of our soldiers. Don't ever kill one more soldier. We're going to hit you harder than you've ever been hit before.
Abdul,
and
don't kill our soldiers.
Months without a soldier being killed, without an American being, think of it, without an American being killed in Afghanistan. Not Democrat-run Chicago or New York, but in Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. And 18 months, and then they did this withdrawal, which after 21 years was the right thing to do. But we were doing it. That's why we were down to 2,000 soldiers. But it was so incompetently handled between the death and the $85 billion. They have better equipment than almost any country in the world. And now Afghanistan is one of the largest seller of arms anywhere in the world because they're selling it.
I was going to say, Afghanistan seems like it's overlooked at times right now. Like people forget about what is actually the current state of Afghanistan right now?
Well, I hear it's a mess. I hear we're sending a lot of money to Afghanistan, if you can believe this.
Okay, when does he talk about?
And we're sending it.
When is he? Did he already talk about Russia?
1,000 machine guns, rifles.
I forgot to run the ad break, by the way. As always, I'm running it now.
They don't need that many. They don't have. There's no way they can use what we left. They have helicopters. They have planes. They're selling equipment to other countries. They're giving equipment to China and to Russia because they're going to re-engineer, de-engineer. They're going to come out with a helicopter just like our great helicopter. We have the greatest helicopters in the world. They now have them, and they're going to duplicate them. Afghanistan was, I think, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, the way we got out. We looked like we were surrendering, which in a sense, I guess they were. To take the soldiers out before you take the.
Do you want me to go back and watch the Ukraine takes?
Over there right now, trying to get out, they can't. But to take the soldiers out first instead of last. First, you take the people. Then you may take some people from Afghanistan.
Okay, we'll go live.
Me that just a thing. All right. Yeah. All right. Good. Let's go.
What is that?
It was my honor. Thank you.
We're at Mar-a-Lago.
Okay, I don't care about this stuff.
Friends of his, and
very good friends.
The UFC thing, and he's
of our content. So
I expected you to be rolling in here with no suit on, coming off the golf course. I was expecting, you always rock.
They didn't talk about Russia here. It's not live per se. It's just a premiere. It was pre-recorded. I know. But does he talk about Russia at all here or no? Because it seems like they were talking about it when I first tuned in.
Nice. Well, why wouldn't there have been a war? Because you were in office?
No, because I understood Putin. I talked to Putin. I spoke to him about Ukraine, and I said, "Don't do it." And I won't go into the exact conversation, but under certain if certain people ask, I'll tell them exactly what the conversation was. But we look weak. We look stupid. Mm-hmm. We look like we don't know what we're doing, and nobody's ever seen the country like this. And let me tell you, it really began not only with a horrible, weak border, but it really began when they so incompetently withdrew from Afghanistan. I got it down to 2,000 soldiers. We were going to withdraw, but we weren't leaving $85 billion worth of equipment. We weren't leaving dead soldiers. And I spoke to the Taliban, the leader, Abdul, and I said, don't ever kill any of our soldiers.
We heard this already. This
Don't
is
ever
all he
kill
said?
one more soldier. We're going to hit you harder than you.
Okay, we already heard all this shit.
Unbelievable incompetence that short period of time had. But I believe that was the beginning, because Putin would have never done it with me. He was never going to take over Ukraine.
Do you ever talk to Putin still?
No, I haven't spoken to him since.
Wait, let's get back to the premiere.
Ever going to, certainly under the Trump administration. And I say zero chance. I don't say like I don't think. Zero chance he would have done it. And I spoke to him about it. Zero
Wait, why
chance he
can't I
would have
get
done
to
it.
the live portion?
He saw the weakness. He saw Afghanistan, that the way, the incompetence of the withdrawal, the way they did it was so bad. Who advised them to take soldiers out first and leave people behind? And the soldiers were in no danger. We had, again, not one soldier was killed in 18.
I know it's not live, it's pre-recorded, but I like scrolled back and I want to now go to like the original premiere,
Putin,
like where it is now.
Putin became a different man when he saw that. He viewed the United States differently. He no longer respected the United States. I believe that President,
because we already heard all this shit.
They saw that too.
Okay, I have to catch up, so I'm just gonna fucking catch up. Click on the premiere button twice. I did. It's not working. It's not catching up. No, it's not live. You can't change time during a premiere. He's just repeating stuff. You're already on premiere. Oh, it caught up. It caught up.
Citizen, can you pick up the phone and somewhat
a
resolve what's
couple of
going on?
things. First of all, you really have to be in a position where you're president. You are president.
Wait.
You
Oh,
do that, and
he was just repeating the same shit?
100% would have never happened. And we spoke about it because I knew that he had a love for it, you know. Like, hey, look.
Oh my God.
over-
I thought the video broke and it wasn't he was just repeating himself. Literally just exactly the same things he said like 5 minutes prior.
Major, very powerful section, probably in many ways the most powerful section. They have their submarine bases, and they took it over, and that was it. Nobody did anything about it. Under Bush, they took over Georgia, and I don't mean Georgia that we all know and love. I mean the other Georgia, and they took that over.
Which we don't love.
It over
we don't love that Georgia. They're brown.
Repercussions very, very easily, and now they're taking over the whole ball of wax under Biden. And it's really a disgraceful situation. It would have never happened. And we did talk about it. I mean, he definitely wanted Ukraine, loved Ukraine, would never have happened.
What do you see happening next then? Because it seems like the tensions are high. How does this all end? Is this going to be like a long-term thing? How do you see it unfolding?
Well, and I said this a long time ago, if this happens, we are playing right into their hands. Green energy.
Folks, many people
the windmills,
think
they don't work.
Oh, green energy is into their hands.
They kill all the birds. They ruin your landscapes. And yet
oh no!
Love the windmills. And I've been preaching this for years. The windmills, and I had them way down.
Hell yeah, brother.
But the windmills are the most expensive energy you can have. And they don't work. And by the way, they last a period of 10 years. And by the time they start rusting and rotting all over the place, nobody ever takes them down. They just go onto the next piece of prairie or land and destroy that. It's incredible that they want, but other forms of green energy, they don't have the power to power our factories. They're extremely expensive. And I preached loud and clear to Angela Merkel, you are making a tremendous deal by making this deal with Russia.
Am I crazy to say that he looks good? Like, he looks healthy, dude.
And until I came along, nobody knew what Nord Stream 2 was, and you guys know that. I was telling her loud and clear and publicly.
This man's going to be the next president.
And in fact, I sent her something as a little gift. It was a white flag. It was a flag of surrender. She said, but what is this? I said, that's a flag of surrender. So that when Russia gets hostile, which they have. I mean, if you look at a history of a couple of 100 years with Germany and Russia, has not been exactly pretty, whether it's World War I, World War II. Take a look at what's gone on. I sent her the white flag of surrender because she said it was 45%. I said it's 75 or 80%.
Wait, what does she mean World War I and World War II? Germany's position in World War I and World War II wasn't exactly, nice to the United States.
Russia has you in a position that you've never been in before if you do this deal. It's insane to do this deal. What are you doing? In the meantime, they closed down all of their plants. They closed down their nuclear, which even the environmentalists like nuclear, whether you like it or not. I understand both versions very strongly.
Oh, Trump just won the nuke boys in the chat.
Probably
Nelk boys, more like nuke boys.
Nuclear plants. And they're reliant, and I will say almost entirely, if this thing ever played out, Germany is reliant on Nord Stream 2, the pipeline. And I sent her the white flag of surrender. That's what, and it's turned out to be true. Nobody brings this up because the press never likes to talk about it. But nobody brings this up.
That's not true, Mr. Trump, President Trump. I brought it up, sir.
Dumbest deals ever made.
I brought it up, sir. I brought it up. I said that you sanctioned them.
So now I hear, and you guys were here waiting. But while you were waiting, I was listening. That we're going to make a deal with
maybe I can get an
Venezuela
interview with him too, dude.
to get some of their oil capacity.
I'm gonna start sucking off.
We're going to make a
I'm
deal
gonna
with
start sucking
Iran
him off.
that wants to build a nuclear weapon. I ended the Iran deal. They never would have had it. We would have had a deal 1 week after the election. We would have had a deal with Iran, a really great deal. Because I told China, you can't buy, if you buy oil from Iran, there's no more business at all to be done with the United States. And they didn't. They bought very little. And Iran wanted to make a deal. Now China's
trying to
buying
platform this monster. You mean the previous president of the United States of America? Did you just say I would platform Trump? Dude, liberals are so brain broken. I swear to God.
But this administration, Biden and Obama, and I was breaking it up, they have forced Russia and China together. They are now wonderful partners, and add one third country to it, Iran. So they now have Russia, Iran, and China. They have forced them together with their stupid foreign policy, and there's never been anything like it. These people are incompetent, and the media is allowing it to happen. The media is trying to say, "Oh, isn't this wonderful? This is so great." They don't say.
No one is saying that.
We have a world now that's more
Who's
dangerous
saying
than ever
that?
before. The incompetence of Obama and the incompetence of Biden has forced Russia, think of it, Russia and China, from the time you're young people, you read that's the one you don't want to ever force. And they were natural enemies because of their border. You never want to force them together. They've been forced together. And now you add Iran because they're in the group
Trump's
too.
take on the Sino-Soviet split.
That's very lethal.
Donald, does it suck that, does it suck that you can't say these things because of big tech like censoring you and stuff like that? How much does that bother you?
Such a great question.
They're not following the Marxist-Leninist principles.
The press in our country, the
theory is not there. Their application of Marxist-Leninist
if we
principles
talk
are
about
not
the
there.
Election fraud, they will not
Believe
cover
me.
it. 3 days ago, Wisconsin came out.
De-Stalinization was a mistake. Believe me.
So much fraud and irregularities, really big stuff. The media does not want to cover it. The media doesn't want to cover anything having to do with the election fraud, which is massive. They all say the big lie, the big lie. But the big lie.
This is boring. No. Go back to Russia. Go back to Russia.
You can go into all of the swing states and beyond, but all of the swing states.
You're such a fucking loser, dude. Oh, God, I hate it when he just can't shut the fuck up about election fraud. He is such a little fucking loser, dude. Would you suck him like Putin? I'd suck him without anything, dude. He's got the biggest pussy in the game. Who says Biden and Trump don't have things in common? They both war criminals. They both have Alzheimer's. I mean, that's like every American president after a certain age group. It's just like the whole fucking I didn't lose. Just stop the count. Like it's just like shut up, bitch. No one cares. Like you're fucking loser. Shut the fuck up.
What was that call like when you got that call when you were finally when you got that call when you were banned from Twitter? Who gave you that call that said you're no longer allowed?
Well, I don't want to get into it because it's going to end up in litigation. But they banned the president of the United States for saying things like I'm saying right now, good things. Our country would be a lot stronger. They have taken our country to a level of lowness like it's never.
Yeah, that's why they banned you.
We are disrespected.
Bro, remember when Trump literally said the American state was going to do terror by destroying cultural landmarks? Like, just terror is a political terminology, but there's like one area of terrorism that is very cut and dry, very black and white, and that is we will destroy your cultural landmarks. That's like ISIS shit, right? And Donald Trump literally tweeted that and didn't get banned, okay? So clearly they gave him a lot of leeway until it got to a point where he was like actively and deliberately pushing for the continuation of January 6th riots, okay? Like the insurrection. God, I miss his tweets so much, though. Connor, best line in Elizabeth Warren's beer catastrophe is to her husband, "Thank you for being here. I'm glad you're here. It's their house. He's supposed to be there." So good, dude. So fucking good. I'm following this account. I love old Trump tweets. Warren, 1/20/20th. Oh, God, he was such a good poster. That's the dude who literally moans in people's ears interviewing the former president of the free world. Yeah, the free world.
There's anger. There's distrust. They know the election was rigged. It was a totally rigged election, like a third world country, and they're angry about it. They're angry about a lot of things. They're going to be really angry when they start paying 3 times more for their gasoline.
But the question is, Don, are you coming? I mean, I don't need to ask. You've hinted at it. Are you coming back and going to run for president of the United States?
Don, you come back and what, though?
Don't really allow you to discuss that unless you're going to literally go through a different process. So I think a lot of people are going to be really happy. You guys might be really happy, but
we're going to be happy.
I think a lot of people are going to be very happy. But I'll wait.
How so? What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll wait till I have so many people wanting me to do it. I think.
By the way, the Nelk boys are 1,000% in line with my theory of Canada, which is Canada only either sends their very best, okay, or their absolute fucking worst. Like nothing in between. And the Nelk boys obviously are their absolute fucking worst. So it also corresponds to Felix Biederman's theory of the Canadian mind, okay, Canadian mindset, Alpha Canada mindset, which is Canadians are either like chill as fuck or they just are so fucking bent that they're not American, so they have to be as yee as possible and act like as Americanized and as hog-like as possible, when in fact it's just like a, North American European state, okay? Chill. It's just like it's a European state in North America. That's what it is.
Barrel was down to 30 and even less than that. Actually, we had so much energy that for a period of time, if you took the oil, take a barrel of oil, they'll give you $36 along with that. In other words, now this was no good for Wall Street because they don't do that. They just do paper. They would have had to take, we had so much that if you take the oil, so you get a barrel of oil, here's 37. You remember that little period of time?
Yeah, simplify everything for our audience today. Simplify everything, right?
Yeah, not for my audience, not for me. I understand. I got alpha brain.
Continue, Don. Sorry, my apologies.
So we had the energy down at the best. We had so much. But
did he just dab him? No, that's
so
true.
Well. And we filled up the Strategic National Reserve, 75 million barrels. Hadn't been filled for close to 50 years, they say. And I filled it up because the energy was so cheap. The oil was so cheap. I filled it. We have strategic reserves that we need in case of emergencies. And these are these massive salt caves under Louisiana and various other places. Right. And I said, tell me about that. And they told me about it. I said, because we could make a good deal today on energy. I said, tell me about it. I said, good. And we filled it up with very inexpensive. And 3 days ago, Biden announced that he's going to take that oil and put it out into the market so that people will be able to get a little bit less than $5 or whatever it may be. But as great an achievement as that was, it's peanuts compared to the overall. I mean, it's like 1 day's worth of energy. But I fill up the Strategic National Reserves. The press doesn't talk about it virtually at all. That was an achievement in itself. And I filled it up for, you would have been proud, for the right price, okay? When it was low, we got it filled. And it was a good thing, and good for the companies, good for everything. And now they take it out because Biden wants to look better politically by having a little bit lower price. But it's not going to be a little bit lower. The energy, the cost for gasoline, your heating costs, the highest anywhere in the country is in Massachusetts and in, certain places on the East Coast. You know who supplies it? for the most part? Russia. Russia is supplying oil on the east coast of our country. And they have by the way, they have the highest energy costs in the country.
What?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Donnie, I wonder.
Interesting.
It is sort of interesting.
Well, I'm just saying, no.
So crazy.
What it is
Wow, Donnie doesn't even respond to the brown
is
one.
just amazing. And what I try and do is obviously, I ask
Donnie does not care about the brown co-host.
In my
He's
mind,
like, you're not here.
right, I'm
Don't
always
talk
like,
to me.
Hey, could this thing ever?
I
lead
did
to
the
a
Muslim
nuclear
ban.
fallout? Could this ever
Yeah.
be nuclear war?
I did
What
the
is your
Muslim
take
ban.
on-
We should have implemented it for Canada
For a US
too.
citizen right now
Yeah.
that's watching
Well, you
this
should be
unfold.
scared.
I'm
because
gonna
we have
full send you
incompetent
back to
people
your country.
heading up our country who, frankly, got there through a fraudulent election.
But regardless
You
of
should be-
incompetent, regardless of incompetent people,
Yeah.
immediate threat. How serious is the threat of nuclear
I
warfare?
think it's serious. I think it's serious. I saw Biden the other day saying, we don't want to fight Russia. They're a nuclear power. We don't want to fight Russia. They're a nuclear power. They're a nuclear power. And I'm saying to myself, it's such a signal of weakness. Now, is it correct? Yes, they are a nuclear power, but so are we. You know, I rebuilt our nuclear arsenal. It's bigger and better and stronger than ever before. We had to renew things that were 40 and 45 years old. I didn't want to do it, but we had to do it because we had no choice. I wish I
Recognizing
didn't
that
have to
Russia
spend
is a
that money.
nuclear power is
But
a
we had to
signal
do
of
it because
weakness.
We had no choice. But not only did I rebuild our whole military, $2.5 trillion
Listen,
during a very
if you
short
close
period
your
of time,
eyes and don't believe they're a nuclear power, then
Yes.
you win
That your
because their
fathers
nukes
would've-
can't hurt you.
if they were in the Air Force, they were, and in some cases, your grandfathers.
Right.
We had old bombers, old fighters. We have a brand new military. We spent $2.5 trillion on our military. We have a beautiful military. One of the reasons that the incompetence of Afghanistan, the way they got out, is because we have a great military. You know, I took down ISIS, 100% of ISIS, and we used generals, great generals. We have great generals other than the guys that you see on television who are incompetent. But we have great generals. We have generals that I dealt with that we took out 100% of ISIS in a very short period of time. And everybody actually admits that. They don't want to talk about it. But we have a great military, but we look incompetent. And it's a sad day for our military, and it's a sad day for our country. And yes, you do have a chance of World War III because our country is not respected any longer. And sometimes through this incredible...
How do we gain that respect, though? How do we gain that respect with everything in place right now? Biden's in office. We can't change that, right?
Yeah.
How do we gain that respect right now?
It starts with the president. You have to have a president that commands the respect. Look, the European nations, they're friends of mine. And they smile when I talk to them privately. They've been ripping us off for years.
What the
on trade.
fuck?
How many cars is Germany selling from
I'm losing
America?
it.
How
I'm
many
losing my
Chevrolets
mind.
are in the middle of Berlin? Would you say two? Because
It's
you'd be
so
wrong, because there are
good.
none. All right?
They love me. They're
how many
friends of
cars-
mine.
And yet we sell their Mercedes, we sell their BMWs, we sell their Volkswagens, we sell... But if you try and sell cars in Germany, if you try and sell cars in Europe, it's almost impossible to do. They were all ripping us off. Not only China. China was ripping us off the most. We had with China a deficit of $507 billion a year.
I don't remember if we discussed this on the stream or not, but didn't we have a deal with Japan? Because, well, here, no one likes our cars for the most part because our cars, unfortunately, are not that good, okay? I'm Middle Eastern. I'm Turkish. I love American vehicles because of like this weird, attitude that we have in America or towards American cars. But NA cars, by and large, are kind of trash. Historically, it's gotten better now. But Japan had a deal where they literally dumped pickup trucks into the ocean, right? Where like they had a deal where they had to purchase American cars. But because they did not want the American cars, they purchased it and dumped it into the fucking ocean.
Obama's phone calls, wouldn't take any meetings with him, wouldn't do anything. And then I started with him, and it was very hostile for about a month, if you remember. Then all of a sudden, we met, we got along. We had no problem with North Korea. Now they're acting up again. And they're acting up again when they see the stupidity of our country. But be careful when Germany announces that they're going to start pouring the big money into the military. And so now you have Japan and Germany rebuilding again.
What's that first call like, Mr. Trump, with when you try to get a hold of Kim Jong-un? Like, how does that happen?
He actually called me, and we did get along.
Like, that's crazy.
I'm sorry to be laughing.
I mean, you're the first president to meet with a North Korean leader, right?
Yeah.
So what's that first? So he called you.
And we got along very well. I understood him.
What's like the first call? Is he say like, "Hey, what's up, Mr.
Well,
Trump?"
It wasn't a call. We got through people.
Hassle.
A meeting was set up in Singapore, and then in Vietnam, we had 2 meetings. But we didn't have the problem that the Democrats would have had. They would have had a nuclear war with North Korea. I have no doubt about it. Kim Jong-un wanted nothing to do with them. This is years now. We would have had a nuclear war with North Korea. Who's coughing back there? Are you okay? I said, you crude? The media will say, Trump's coughing. There must be something wrong with him.
We run a
COVID's going around in Mar-a-Lago.
There's COVID. Laid back.
COVID in Mar-a-Lago.
We run a pretty laid back thing. We're all good. We're all good.
But
continue on.
What does that mean? What does that mean? We run a laid back thing. It's all good.
North Korea is a major nuclear power. Mm-hmm. But I hate hearing Biden say, no, we don't want anything to do with Russia. They're a nuclear power, but so are we. And we're a bigger nuclear power. And we have brand new, because of me, nuclear weapons that we didn't have. And we have renovated weapons that were very old. And now they're renovated. And we never want to use them. And by the way, you know how you're not going to use them? By having them. If you didn't have them, we would have big problems. Mm-hmm. But we have them. But Biden shouldn't be talking the way he's talking, because he's playing right into Putin's hands. Putin, I've never heard this from a leader outside of Kim Jong-un, I guess, to a large extent. But Putin now talks about his nuclear capability.
Bro, let's go. HasanAbi doctrine is literally alive right now.
You do the no-fly zone, you do this. We're a nuclear country. And Biden's saying they're a nuclear country.
The HasanAbi doctrine, baby.
It's so weak.
Let's go.
Such a bad
Would you have a no-fly zone?
I have to say this.
Yeah.
I want to see what he says about the no-fly zone. Oh, exciting.
The bombing of these cities and the killing of all these people is a tragedy. This is a tragedy like I don't think we've witnessed since World War II.
No, it's crazy what's going on.
No, they're bombing. You know, in Florida, we're in Florida, you had a building collapse in Florida on the beach, as you know, through bad structural engineering or rust or something. A lot of people were killed in that building.
Can we look at a map of gas prices?
He's bombing much bigger
and
buildings,
see where is the most expensive?
and they're collapsing.
I'm still shook.
And then they
say
say,
the Northeast in Boston
you see
pays
this
the most
massive
for
building
gas.
coming down all over the place. People are in that building. But you see the building come down, and then they say 2 people were hurt. No. When a building like that comes down, many people die. It's not 2 people are hurt. But they're coming down all over, and they're being blown to pieces. And so we had a case in Florida, as you know, on the shore where a building collapsed for totally different reasons, but it collapsed. Well, buildings are collapsing now in Ukraine, and they're...
Yeah, dude, there's a difference between evacuated cities and emptied out buildings being shelled and like a fucking random building collapse in the middle of fucking Florida, dude.
Taking over...
What the fuck?
Depending on what
what is he trying to imply right now? What the fuck?
Potentially millions of people are going to die, and it could lead to Third World War, by the way. It could lead to a Third World War. I think what is going on now is a direct reflection on the Obama administration.
Yeah, the difference is the Florida building collapsed when there was people in it because they didn't know it was supposed to, whereas,
Rogan, right?
the buildings that are being bombed are largely empty.
Like I wonder, what's your reaction to when someone calls you a racist? What's your initial reaction
Well,
to
it
that?
used to be a terrible reaction, but now everybody's called a racist today.
Yeah.
Anybody that's the enemy of the other side. People that are the exact opposite of racist are called racists. And it's a very hurtful word, but it's lost a lot of its meaning because everybody is being called a racist today by the radical left, when actually they're the racists.
I love it.
Really
I'm a racist, they say.
So, they call Joe Rogan, they call anybody they disagree with a racist. So it tends to lose its meaning. And the people get it, with the black community, my vote was so much higher than in the past with other Republicans. But with the Hispanic community, they're writing. They don't want to write about it, but the Hispanics, the vote was so incredible. You know, along the Texas border. The other night in Texas, I endorsed 33 candidates, and every single one of them won the election. There were a couple of runoffs, but they're all leading substantially. You have, I think, 3 runoffs, but they're all leading substantially. They'll win in the next 2 months. But we were 33-0. I didn't see any stories about it. I see no stories about it.
Why do you think that is?
Because the press is corrupt. They're dishonest. They don't want to say anything good.
Is it all about money though? Because I feel like I don't feel like it's not actually about their morals. I feel like it's just about money.
I don't think it's
correct?
money. I think it's combinations. It's money and power and something. It's something. They're sick.
I mean, something we deal with too is like we have our page and we're kind of controversial with the stuff we do. So we face a lot of censorship too, like something we all deal with. Our Instagram page got taken down and they actually sent us a notice because it was too political, our Full Send Instagram page. And we were just...
Dog, what the fuck is he talking about? I get banned more than these fucking dickheads do, man. Holy shit, this shit pisses me off so much. I'm fucking black. I'm blacklisted on Instagram as well, okay? I got the sex worker treatment on Instagram. You can't find my fucking page anymore unless you, like, literally write the entire username. And it happens. You're what? Okay, guys, stop. Yeah, I said I'm fucking black instead of saying I'm fucking blacklisted. Okay, I shouldn't have paused there. Clipped and shipped. Oh my God.
My people. You know,
Don's got
I have
people
a
for
lot
that,
of
Kyle.
people.
Don's got
No,
people
because
for that.
I saw back in, I think during the debate times, you said that he should moderate a debate.
Yeah,
he'd
yeah,
be much
I've seen
better.
that, yeah.
Well, he's much more talented than Chris Wallace.
That'd be great.
No, he's a much more talented person than just about all of these moderators.
Joe Rogan should moderate an
No, I
debate
said
for
let
in
Joe Rogan.
2024.
What if they let Don Lemon in?
Well, look, you know, I called him the dumbest man on television, so he's never gonna love me. Hey, it's very interesting. Yeah. Here's a test. Are you ready? This is a test for everybody. It'll be a small group of people. This interview will have millions and millions of people, assuming it's not touched. Let's see if they allow you. I hate to say this to you because you guys are going to chicken out, I guarantee.
We don't chicken out, Don.
If you put up this whole thing, watch.
We don't chicken out, Don.
If you,
Don, we don't chicken out. I'm telling you right now.
You don't chicken out?
Don, we don't chicken out.
Ready?
Let's hear it.
If you put up this whole interview, let's see what happens when Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and all of them take it down. And let's see what happens when they threaten you and all that. Because we don't have a free press in our country. We have a press not so different. This is the beginning of communism. We have a press not so different than countries we don't want to talk about. Do you remember during the campaign I said a lot, and really a lot, that if we're not...
this stuff is boring, but here, I got to show you something. Guys, apparently, McKenna Kelly, a reporter at The Verge who writes about politics, went to a Turning Point USA conference and found some Turning Point USA documents. And apparently the TPUSA presentation notes me as a content inspiration for Twitch streaming. I don't know if I should take that as a compliment or I don't know what to say about that, but love that they are trying to, they're looking towards what I have done and what this community looks like to try to build something for themselves. So yes, the Charlie Kirk Cussy arc officially begins now. Donald Trump is doing a live podcast with Full Send on YouTube right now. Yeah, I know. I've been watching it. We've been watching it, and I just I'm beginning to realize that the dollar store fucking Prager U Hasan and all those other people are deliberately trying to make themselves look and sound a certain type of way. So also what these dummies don't understand is that you can't come into this territory and try to fucking present conservative takes when Hank Piker rules the land, baby. I got better conservative takes than you ever could, okay? The alpha mind. I'm a goddamn conservative myself, baby. How dare you? It's called Hank Piker. Conservative extraordinaire. All right, let's get back to
when you guys get hit violently by the crooked media, by the radical left crazy press that's destroying our country, the press should be the policeman of a country, like for corruption and all the... They don't report corruption.
True.
They don't talk about
goddamn
the laptop.
spitting.
It's off-bound. You can't talk about it.
I don't
They
want.
We're
talk
not scared
about
of getting
this.
hit, though. I mean, I think
I'm
that's
scared
why
of going
you
missing,
may be
though. I don't want to go
scared.
missing. I don't
No,
want to
no,
go
you,
missing.
Bob, he's
let me
very
tell you.
I'm
what you
afraid
wish
of going
for.
missing. That's the only
Let me
thing.
tell
I
you
don't
where
wanna-
you'll be scared. When they say, we're going to take you off the air if you put this up. Okay? Let's see whether or not everybody in this room, all you camera geniuses and young geniuses, a lot of people, let's see how brave when they say, because you guys are doing very well. And
I'm sure it's
Dana
possible to make a
thinks the
right-wing
world of you, we
pipeline
all
version
think
of
the
you.
world of you. And
I mean,
I'm not
probably.
even necessarily going to blame you.
The difference
I
is
will
this
a
is
little.
authentic.
If this goes up or not.
You'll put it up. Let's see what happens when they take it down.
The thing is, this is authentic. So this is firmly held beliefs for a very long time through life experiences, reading, learning, questioning. You can't fucking do this in a weekend, okay? You can't like have a normal person who is also as obsessed with politics as I am deliver political information to a Norman audience. All of those dudes are fucking nerds. Like they're all. It's hard. It's hard to balance the two.
So
Wow,
all of
thank
these
you.
things. But let's see what happens.
I wish girls told us
when
that.
they say, "We're not going to let you put that interview up." He talked about the election.
No, this
fraud.
interview's going up, Don.
They don't want to talk about election fraud. They don't want to say anything good about the kind of things that in many cases I think that you may agree with. But if you criticize Biden, which we're doing, because again, this war, this Ukrainian disaster should never, ever have happened.
And that's the
and
most
it wouldn't
important
have
thing.
happened.
But yeah, we're definitely not scared of that because we're used to it. I think that's why we're here. Like you said, Dana respects us. People respect us
difference,
because we never
they're
really
nerds,
gave a
we're
shit
weeps.
about,
And
about
Kyle, he's-
stuff.
But
We
this
stand
is
for
now
what we
big
stand
time.
for.
This
for
is
sure.
now. I'm sorry.
But
This
I
is
think
now big time.
I think even
right?
when we met you, before, when Dana brought us on Air Force One with you, even just us posting that, we got a lot of flack. But I mean, we don't really care.
And you
to
got a
be
lot of
fair-
love too, by the way. Just so
oh
you
my
know,
God,
you got
huge
more
love.
love than you
Huge
did flack.
Lot of
I'll
love.
say this.
Little flack, though. Little flack. We got a little flack from Don. We got a little flack from the
You
I think
got-
we'd get more
you got
flack
more?
for doing something with Biden. We would.
Well,
No, in our fan base, if we did something with Biden,
Our fan base
we would
is
lose
Republican.
so many.
The difference
people.
Isn't his fan base 12-year-olds? The fuck do they know about Biden or Donald Trump? What is happening right now? Do 12-year-olds have a genuine opinion on fucking Joseph Robinette Biden?
Hip hip hooray.
The Mac attack, Mr. Jack. Also, I got to show you guys something funny. This is my current fucking. This is what my thumbnail is at the moment.
Oh,
but
that's
they
the
would.
beginning.
But they won't do it.
That's the-
Don.
Here's
We
the
like
beginning.
Don.
No,
We
but Mr.
like to
Trump,
have.
they
Here's the
wouldn't
beginning.
do it.
Okay.
I don't think
WTF.
Nancy
Don, what
Pelosi
we
would
do
ever
is-
sit.
you
She would
guys-
never sit down.
Here's what we do.
Biden
we
would
have
never
we have a
sit down.
very, very, very successful podcast because we bring in everybody. We're not biased in any
Good.
way, shape, or form.
Good.
We like to sit down with people that are involved in really big things that are happening in the world today.
But the other side wouldn't sit down.
The other side has not showed us respect like you guys have, which is amazing.
They
That's the difference.
Dude, you're the Nelk boys. What the fuck do you mean? Of course they don't show you respect. The reality, though, is that I could have a much easier time getting Republican politicians on this broadcast than a single fucking Democrat. 1,000,000%. That is true. Republicans are fucking media demons. They don't give a fuck. Madison Cawthorn literally DM'd me personally from his Instagram to come on the fucking stream like a couple months ago. I could probably still have him on in any way, shape, or form. Whereas Nancy Pelosi or the equivalent of like Madison Cawthorn on the Democratic side, unless we're talking about like AOC or Ilhan Omar, who are, friends and fans of the show, that's different. Like, there's no fucking way would they ever in a million years, a Democrat would not come on to this fucking broadcast unless it's like someone in a lower tier, running for like a local position or some shit like that. Because they don't need to. They got MSNBC. Why the fuck would they try to, put themselves in a compromised position where someone says where the carefully crafted image of being like super progressive is destroyed by some fucking dickhead 30-year-old wearing a stupid beanie that looks like a penis on Twitch.
Likewise, nobody's ever been
TF
treated
and
as
myself
badly
with
as I
Prime
have
on
by
mobile.
the fake news media, by everything, and we do our own fighting.
The White
back
House
and all,
literally
but,
blocked.
I mean, if you look at their approval
This
rating,
is real shit. The White House literally blocked Anthony Fauci from coming on to my Twitch broadcast when they were doing partnerships. When they were doing partnerships with Twitch streamers, when Anthony Fauci went on a bunch of the different
I just
Twitch
realized why Imperial
shows and
units were
YouTube
called
and
what
stuff,
power feels
the White
dead
House was
man.
like, no, we're not doing that. Actually, which is why none of you fucking heard that Anthony Fauci was on Twitch. Most of you didn't even know he went on Twitch. Did you? Probably not. You didn't.
They did have one story about that today, very interesting. I told her you're making a terrible I used to fight with her over it, the pipeline, because I said they own your country once you
during Biden.
But we're now
Fauci
forcing
during
Germany
Biden would
and
not come on.
Japan to become major powers militarily. And there are a lot of people, including me, that say that might not be a very good idea. Be careful what you wish for. And with that, it's been a great honor.
One more thing. I heard you're becoming quite the DJ here at Mar-a-Lago. I heard you're spinning.
You DJ?
Would you believe it? I love music. I have an aptitude for music.
What type of music?
Oh, is it
During,
aptitude for music?
over our lives, we take tests and aptitude tests and all this.
I like Mitski. Charlie XCX. Very good music. I listen to 100 Gex sometimes.
Or
no, I don't spin,
what do you
but
use?
I pick the ones I like. I don't want to spin. I want to pick the ones I like.
What's your like go-to banger on the
Well, I
aux?
have a lot of them.
Let's go,
You know
Brandon.
a song that does get people moving, though? I'll play
I might vote for Donald Trump by JPEG Mafia. Very good.
Les Mis, etc. You know what gets
He's going to say, I'm a drainer, Blady till I die. I'm a drainer. That boy, he does better rap than every American.
Is it an underrated?
I think so.
Well, it gets a lot of views, I can say. But YMCA, the gay national anthem. Did you ever hear that? They call it the gay national anthem. But YMCA gets people up and it gets them moving. But we have a lot of good selections. And people love it when I do it.
What's the best song to like transition to? Like
YMCA
to what?
Maybe
Like maybe
guy
Mo
was
Bamba?
the president.
maybe Hold On, I'm Coming.
All you war watchers are jealous.
So 2 a.m. You go to YMCA to Hold On, We're Coming, and that just gets the crowd going?
Well, we just have a good time. Actually, we have great people. There's been a tremendous place, Mar-a-Lago. It's a private club. It's been an amazing place.
What's your handicap right now in golf? Because I'm a big time golfer.
Yeah, I've been a very successful golfer over the years. You know,
yeah.
I don't play as much as you really should play if you want to become top, but I've been a very successful. I've won many club championships, which is hard to do. That's our major.
I seen you hit a driver, and you said Biden couldn't hit it like that.
Well, that I can tell you. That I guarantee you.
Biden probably hits his driver like 120.
Well, they asked Gary
my.
Player the other night. They said, who's the best player? How many presidents have you played with? He said, I played with 7. Who's the best player? Trump by far. He said, he's at least 20 or 25 strokes better than anybody else.
Really?
And I said, Gary, isn't it more than that? But that's a big statement. But Gary Player is a great legendary golfer, as you know. But they asked him that question, and he said, Trump by far.
By the way, Donald
like a
Trump
shit
definitely did play golf a lot more than any other president in history. Like, that is literally insane to say that he wasn't playing enough. Like,
And all the
no,
talk
you
is
definitely
no good.
played
In
a
fact,
lot of
yeah.
golf, dog.
So-
like, not to be too much of a, I know it's like a lip take to be like, he played so much golf, but like he literally
I
did.
do want to say you look, but when you see Don, he gets a lot of shit for his hair and his way. He's like you look good.
I feel
He
good.
looks
He
great.
does
You
look
look
good.
great.
I
You do
feel
look
good.
good.
So far, so
What's
good.
He
your
looks
like,
fucking hot,
mental
dude.
regimen? Like when you're in president, like you said, you slept like 6 hours a
I don't-
night.
I
Like
don't sleep
how
a
do you
lot.
how do you do that?
You know what? I enjoy doing it. I love doing it because I was helping the country. I mean, look at what we did.
That's
The
like
things
amazing,
we did.
though. Like-
Biggest tax cuts in history. Rebuilt the military. Biggest regulation cuts in history. You know, that was maybe more important, and people don't talk about it, than even the tax cuts. We had, until COVID came, the China virus came in, we had the greatest economy in history. We were doubling up. We were going to double up on China, and everyone said China was going to take over. We were taking over. We were doubling up. And then it came in, and we did a phenomenal job. And then when I left, this economy was very strong again. Plus, we did Operation Warp Speed, which even the radical
Only doing
left,
this to make the
Biden
stupid
tried to take credit for it.
notification go
I
away.
Remember,
gotta
he
pee. I'll be
said,
back.
well, we did the vaccine. No. Even his own people said, you got the vaccine during Trump. But if you take a look, Operation Warp Speed was a tremendous success. I really believe that we would have had, in 1917, 100 million people
120L has
died.
legs.
They say maybe it was 77, but up to 100 million people died. I think we would have had the same thing had we not had a very, very successful Operation Warp Speed. And that includes therapeutics, Regeneron, all of this stuff that we did. We have things that have been unbelievably successful. Not only, by the way, with with COVID, as some people call it, not only with the China virus, very, very successful in so many other ways with other diseases. And, you know, we had an amazing administration. Best job numbers in the history of our country by far. 160 million people working. It's not even close to that now. We had a great 4 years, really. I mean, we had the period, and then we had the COVID that, you know, was devastating for the world. Mm-hmm. We were the best to recover. We made ventilators. We literally made ventilators in a short period of time, very complicated. We were making them for the whole world. We were sending them to countries that had no chance to ever get them. Mm-hmm. There were none. I mean, there were practically none. And we did a great job. And I hate to see what's happening to our country right now.
So if it's not you upcoming, who should it be?
Who do you like?
Well, we're going to see.
You like DeSantis?
I get along with him great. I was the one that got him started. He came and asked for a recommendation, an endorsement. He said, if you give me an endorsement, I'll win. And I gave him an endorsement. He was at 3%. And after I endorsed him, he took a lead that was not a beatable lead. You know, he got the nomination.
You still got along with him?
Did you see DeSantis telling the kids to take off the masks? I don't know if you've seen that video.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. But it is time to take off the masks.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I would agree if that were the case. Mm-hmm. So thank you all very much.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Mr. President.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. We have to free up the press in this country. If we don't free up the press, this country's finished.
We appreciate
Let's do some photos. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Uh-oh. My speaker's broke.
All right.
God
Secret
damn it.
Service is going to probably kick us out right now.
God
but
damn it.
Guys, Full Send Podcast is officially
I have no idea what
now.
I'm hearing right now.
To...
My speakers are broken. Hold
What is happening, Ian?
Fuck. I want to watch the PlayStation State of Play. No, not really. I wanna go back to this, but the fucking Bose speakers that I have, like, I know you guys can hear it. I can't hear anything. The Bose speakers that I have. Hold on, I'm gonna play some lo-fi real quick, just so I can figure out when it turns back on. 1 second, I have to fix this.